I'm Eva.
Hillary.
And
Very good.
Hillary, and Jeanette and Chelsea. Okay, we're back again another week. Welcome, ladies. Okay,
Hi.
this is our debate. We're gonna do opening statements.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm the religious side of the debate. Okay, everyone has a vital human right of religious freedom. The First Amendment gave us the freedom of speech, press, and religion. Our founding fathers made these freedoms to be first, not by coincidence. They were fleeing to practice religion beliefs without persecution. This is very something I can't read my own writing. This is a very um, uh, the foundation of the existence of the United States, the freedom of the practice religion without being punished for it. With these freedoms, we can be accountable for our own actions and cannot blame others. All citizens are responsible to share the burdens of government. We are to use terms that others can understand to fight. The freedom of speech, press, and religion are connected. We cannot have one without the other. If one is taken away, the others are attacked. Religious values and morals are the basis of our country, our laws, and our policies. Such as theft or murder, both based on religious values, we cannot lose the influence of Christianity in the public square without seriously jeopardizing our freedoms. Okay, and then who is spokesperson one for you guys? For the human?
I am.
Okay.
So we have chosen to come and explain why the humanists will be the best for our future generation. The Humanist Manifesto fosters the desire to reach human needs unrealistic approach. We believe that the past centuries humans have been divided with ideological and traditional practices that has hindered the growth and progress of human race. We have observed that the traditional moral codes and newer irrational codes both fail to meet the present need of today and tomorrow. False theology of hope and messianic ideologies substituting new dogmas for old cannot cope with the existing world's reality. They separate rather than unite people. On the other hand, the humanist taps the creativity of each human being and provide the vision and courage for us to work together. We overlook emphasis our outlook emphasize the role human beings can play. Okay. Human beings can play in their own sphere of actions. Because humans evolved through proof and experiment, we propose that through experiment and the success of science so far, the humanist approach will best provide purpose and inspiration for human needs in the upcoming centuries.
All right, thank you. Main arguments by spokesperson number two. And Chelsea, you go first, please.
Okay. So our main argument for this debate is basically that in the modern world, a lot of times people are trying to change the way that things have been run in the past, and that things that are nowadays are different than they were in the past, and then our constitution needs to change in order to meet those needs. But and that religious freedom um, basically kind of they're not trying to say that they're taking away religious freedom, but a lot of it is that they are trying to take away our religious freedom with these new views, and when it comes to regulating things in religion, different religious sectors, they're trying to change and make basically, I guess, laws that these religions have to follow. For example, when it comes to the Proposition 8 and the marriage laws and gay and lesbian rights when it comes to marriage, they're trying to force other religions to accept this and force them to allow them to get married in these churches, even though these churches do not support this type of action. So when it comes to stuff like this, I'm going to read you guys the First Amendment to explain why this is such a problem, and this is why it's our main argument. So the First Amendment that guarantee it's a guarantee of the free exercise of religion and free speech and press. And the United States Constitution prohibits the making of any law respecting an establishment of religion, impeding the free exercise of religion, abridging the freedom of speech, infringing on the freedom of the press, interfering with the right to peacefully assemble, or prohibiting the petition for government redress of grievances. This was adopted December 15th, 1791, and a lot of people will try to say that because it is so outdated, it needs to be changed and updated to what we're doing in modern times. But our argument is that it is not, that our country was established on these principles, and that we left, Europe in freeing those aspects of being pushed upon by, the king and tyrants and things like that. But part of the reason why we, freed Europe and came to this country was because we wanted our freedoms. And having the freedom of religion is, in the First Amendment for a reason. It's because our country was founded upon it, and by that it's crucial that we sustain and uphold it.
All right, very good. Hillary?
Okay. Humanists believe that traditional theism, especially faith in the prayer-hearing God, assumed to live and care for persons, to hear and understand their prayers, and to be able to do something about them, is an unproved and outmoded faith. Salvationism, based on mere affirmation, still appears as harmful, diverting people with false hopes of heaven hereafter. Even at this late date in human history, certain elementary facts based upon the critical use of scientific reason have to be restated. We find insufficient evidence for belief in the existence of a supernatural. It is either meaningless or irrelevant to the question of survival and fulfillment of the human race. As non-theists, we begin with
Oh no.
Oh no. I hope she realized that she froze now. Maybe she'll.
No, guys, what do we do?
Evie, you want to take over for her quick?
Yeah. Okay, so basically what she's saying is that science, like religion, revelation, prayer and all that stuff, all those religion that people have and have experienced hasn't been proven. And so basically we want to know like what, like how can you prove religion? How can you prove that there's a God? And how can you prove that there's actually people that's had a better life based off of religion? Because from what we see and from what we've researched, we know that religion and traditional and ideal wishes for the future and hopes has not gotten us to where we want to be in reality. So how has religion helped?
Okay. I was hoping. Okay, Hillary. Hopefully she'll rejoin our chat so we can have the rest of our debate.
Yeah.
Thank you for jumping in. That's awesome. Thanks.
I was like, oh, what do I say? Okay, well.
No, you did good. You did good. That was fast thinking on your feet.
Is there a way we could, is there a button we could pause it until we can get her back and then restart it, or do we have to start all over? Oh, wait.
We have to start all over. It looks like Hillary joined us again, so hopefully.
Okay, good.
There's only a stop button right now, so I'm not.
Oh. Don't push that.
Yeah. I don't want to start all over again. Hillary's coming back. Hey, there you are.
Welcome.
Are you guys there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here.
Sorry. My computer's being stupid. It just kicked me off.
Hey, you're still there.
Anyway, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, so where did it cut me off at?
The beginning.
Are you there?
Yeah, we're still here.
It was at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Well, probably like a paragraph that you heard. Eva took over for you.
Yeah, it was kind of like a question to them, not a statement. You can
Statement.
continue. Yeah.
So you want to start
Oh, I'm
like
so sorry.
No,
if
no,
you
no,
want to,
no.
Killer, if you want to start
So,
halfway through, or
yeah, let me just, traditional face. Can I start right there?
yeah,
Did you hear
yeah.
anything about that? Okay, too often traditional faiths encourage dependence rather than independence, obedience rather than affirmation, fear rather than courage. We can discover no divine purpose or providence for the human species. While there is much that we do not know, humans are responsible for what we are or will become. No deity will save us. We must save ourselves. Um, Rather, science, let's see, promises of immortal salvation or fear of eternal damnation are both illusionary and harmful. They distract humans from present concerns, from self-actualization, and from rectifying social injustices. Did you already hear that, or can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Let's see. Rather, science affirms that the human species is an emergence from natural evolutionary forces. As far as we know, the total personality is a function of the biological organism transacting in a social and cultural context. There is no credible evidence that life survives the death of the body. We affirm that moral values derive their source from human experience. Ethics stem from human need and interest. To deny this distorts the whole basis of life. Human life has meaning because we create and develop our futures. Happiness and the creative realization of human needs and desires, individually and in shared enjoyment, are continuous themes of humanism. We strive for the good life here and now. The goal is to pursue life's enrichment despite debasing forces of vulgarization, commercialization, and dehumanization. Reason and intelligence are the most effective instruments that humankind possesses. There is no substitute. Neither faith nor passion suffices in itself. So go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Hillary. All right. So now we're gonna have a cross-examination of each side. So I guess I will go first. Okay. So what do you mean by false hope?
Okay. So when we say false hope, we means like we mean that so many people, like so many religion parties and people, they have um hopes that hasn't actually brought the realization or what they're hoping for. So for example, like some religion believe in a God and they haven't seen a God throughout their whole life. But comparing to like the humanists, we believe that through experiment and through science, like we see and we know it's been proven that things actually can happen. But in like false hopes and like tradition and religion, it's just kind of like people hoping for something throughout their whole life and they haven't actually experienced it in reality.
But you also said that we are dependent on our own happiness and in creating our own life. So isn't it the person's fault because of the choices that they're making? Because they are relying on their intelligence and making these choices and not by a larger being that it is their own hope, or it's their false, it is their own problem that is their false hope because of the choices that they're making. So it's a circle that they continue to make. And if we change our constitution and we change our religion, well, we will be considered going the same circle over and over again and not ever getting better. If we lose hope and we lose faith, because that's what our country is founded upon, is hope and faith and knowing that there is a God.
Yeah. And basically like yeah, like totally understand what you're saying. Talking about like, how they have their own choice to like choose. And at the same time, like as humanists, we come from more of a general way of looking at progress in humanity. And so with like people believing on like having their own choice, it's also a cousin division with where we want to be in the future, because there's a statement in like the humanism approach. It says that when we're divided, we don't reach that goal, but when we're together, then we can be able to reach that actualization of where we want to be in the future. And so with all this ideology and people having their own like beliefs and having their own way of doing things, it hasn't brought like that unity and that goal of where we want to be as humans.
Okay. So when you say future, I think of dreams. And when you say that we are going to basically do away with emotion and hopes and dreams and faith, then those people that dream of a better future and invent stuff and make things in this world better, how are you going to support those people?
Hillary.
Eva, you're doing good. Keep going.
Can you say your question again?
Well, basically, how are you going to support the dreamers and the hopers of like the dreamers of tomorrow? Because we're getting rid of all emotion and hope and faith, and so that's how people they dream a dream and they work on it until it comes true. Like if we would get rid of all hopes and dreams, we wouldn't have these people like inventing new inventions and new ways of doing stuff, and you wouldn't have the iPads and computers and internet. You wouldn't have people thinking out of the box per se. And so I'm wondering if we go in your direction and completely humanistic, that humans are awesome and rule the world, and we're believing it, we're fooling ourselves into hoping and dreaming. How are you going to support those dreamers in the future? Because it isn't our country, the land, the melting pot, and the American dream. You can have anything you want. You just have to work for it. So if you tell that's a no, you can't have that anymore. How are you going to support those people?
Like the humanists, we believe that it's good. Like we know we go basically by reasons and by logic, and so we don't have any problem with people like having that vision of where they want to be from where you're coming from. And at the same time, we know that it's good to have vision, and when we have the vision, we experiment on things, and if it works out, then we go for it, and if it doesn't work out, then we back out and we try a new experiment. And so with the hopes and dreams of like religion and like ideology and stuff like that, like it's a hope that people has had for a long time. For example, like prophets has come and they have given like dates on when the second coming is going to come, but it hasn't happened. And so it's just like examples like that people have hopes and it hasn't happened. But with the humanists, we have visions and we do things with reason, and we also believe that compassion also should drive us to like have visions and goals and to be united. And so when we try to experiment and it doesn't work out, then we try a new road, a new way.
Okay, well, it's your turn to ask us a question now, or three actually, because I did three. Sorry, we weren't taking turns, because I keep on thinking of more questions, and I have another one in mind for the next round.
Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, so the question that I have is that okay, so how can anything, because I know there's a lot of like a focus on things that are to come and like hopes and like eternity, things that will bring joy and happiness in the future. So how can anything be of eternal importance when it hasn't been proven scientifically?
It has been proven scientifically, because if we wouldn't be where we are without the hopes and dreams that people, our ancestors, have been fighting for.
Okay.
Wait, she's talking about, like, in the world to come. How has the world, like, eternity been proven scientifically? That's what she's asking.
Oh, well, scientifically it hasn't been proven. But just because gravity, you can't see gravity, doesn't mean it's not there.
But it's been
It doesn't
proven when you throw the ball in the air that the ball falls down.
But you can't see gravity. You have to believe that it's going to work every time, right? And just
Air
because,
is the same thing with wind. You don't see it. You can never see
But
it.
then,
You know it's there.
don't they learn from experience? Who has experienced eternity and then come back to tell people about it? People have experienced wind, and you can explain wind to somebody who hasn't experienced it.
Well, there's people who have and have come back and have written books about it, who have seen the other side.
Yeah, but how can you believe those people?
How can you believe science? How can you believe there's air and wind? Because you feel it, right? So if you
So
feel it,
how do you...
these people feel it and see it, doesn't mean that it's wrong either. Science cannot prove everything. Bottom line, science proves many great things.
yeah. And science has been proven to be wrong in the past too. Just because,
in years
you know,
later,
we thought
they'll follow
years
science
later,
for years,
like,
and then it's proven wrong.
right. Because remember a long time ago, everybody said, like, oh, eating eggs are horrible. They're high cholesterol. You shouldn't eat them. And then, like, 10 years later, they have to retract that statement saying, oh, eggs aren't that bad. Or, like, Oprah Winfrey was talking about beef and how it, you know, she's never eaten another burger in life, and she got sued because the cattlemen of Texas sued her because of that, and she had to retract her statement too. It's people have opinions about everything, and who are you to say that I am wrong and you're right? Just because it's not proven, or just because you can't see the wind, or
freedom of beliefs. That's the joy and blessing of this country for those things.
yeah, because we cannot be persecuted or punished for how we believe or how we our religious beliefs or speech.
Well, humanism doesn't persecute people for their beliefs. We just question it.
How many questions are we supposed to ask?
I asked 3, so you guys can ask 2 more, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
There. We're supposed to go back and forth, and I just got carried away. Sorry.
It was a good argument. Oh my goodness. So we don't have to ask like 3, right?
No,
you don't have to. It's okay.
I have a trial and error. Eva, you said trial and error, and when you said that, I think, okay, trial and error, but I don't want to take our whole like a science experiment is fine to trial and error with, but I don't want to take our whole society and trial and error this. Like the 1970s and 80s were high in divorce, and now we're finding out, decades later that divorce is not good for the family. It's not good for people. It's not good for the husband. It's not good for the wife. It's definitely not good for the children. I don't want to say, and we can't take back and undo what we have already done. And so what is your argument of going forth with the humanistic view and actually nullifying our whole Constitution? You're throwing out a Constitution that we've had, forever, since the beginning of time, and other countries have used us as an example, our country, and written their own constitutions. So are you saying, in essence, that we're going to throw out our Constitution, so everybody should throw out their Constitution because it's not working into society?
No, Humanism Manifesto does not throw out the Constitution. Because we believe in freedom of speech and press and political democracy and the legal right of opposition to governmental policies, as well as the fair judicial process and religious liberty, freedom of association. So it's not throwing out the Constitution.
It's throwing out parts
It's
of it,
just
though.
that it also wants to include it also wants to include other things like a recognition of identity, euthanasia, and the right to suicide. Those are things that they feel are important. We feel important. And also separation of church and state.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that. I don't have a comeback for that because I don't know what she said. Did she freeze up again?
Well, it just.
Am I here?
Are you there, Hillary? There you are. Sorry,
Can you hear me?
said.
Oh,
We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. So, can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
Can
we
you
can
hear me?
now.
Oh,
You're breaking up
okay.
pretty good, though. You know what this is? This is the hand of God. This is what this is.
So true, probably. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So the Humanist Manifesto doesn't throw out the Constitution because we believe in the freedom of speech and press and the right to legal right to opposition of governmental policies.
Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you're throwing out God, freedom of religion, which is
No. We believe in the freedom of religion. We believe in religious liberty and freedoms of association. It's just that we also want to include the other rights that are not included in the Constitution, like the right to die with dignity and euthanasia and the right to suicide. We also, there are things that we believe that are not against the Constitution.
Did you guys hear what she said?
Yeah.
I think she's frozen again.
Oh.
Oh, anyways, this is a bummer. Okay, what Hillary is saying is that they still want religion. It's just that they still believe in government. They still believe in freedom of speech and freedom of press. It's just that religion would be not taken out, but it would be like kind of downplayed, I guess.
Yeah, it's just more of like really like humanistic, how do you say the name? Like more of like where do we all want to be as like humans to reach our self-actualization like in the future. And so like religion, if it's like not helping us reach that self-actualization, then why not try new things that will help us to reach that self-actualization? Because there's so many things that have failed, with where we want to be and where we are right now.
But a religion for many people is who they are and how they act and react to certain situations, and I don't think you can take that out without affecting everything else. You can't take well, I'll take 1/3 of this person and leave the other 2/3 back because religion is affecting their thoughts and beliefs and actions. I think that's impossible to look at it as a strictly human point of view unless everybody believes the same and everybody does not believe the same. So based on that, that's never going to work because you could always argue the fact that your beliefs are skewing your views or your perception on this. And then they would say like that judge, like that's been known that people have like has been asked to step aside because of their views specifically on whatever the case was, and so they get a different judge because they know personally. I guess what I'm saying is you cannot take the personality, and the beliefs and values and morals out of a person and just have what's left. That's impossible because we're more complex than that.
Hmm. Yeah, it totally makes sense. And like Hillary was saying, like, um, we believe on like people having their making their own choice, like having reason and having compassion with reasons and stuff. And so religion is something that we are not totally against, but at the same time, like if religion is not going to help us be united, then we believe that religion can be downplayed.
Okay, but if that's the case of religion, what about other things that are personal, like personal thoughts and beliefs that I have, but it's not necessarily religious? Like, murder is wrong, but that's based on a religious foundation.
Hmm. And
No, it's also based on humanity.
And it's also based on humanity, but it was started off as a religious
Well,
argument.
we put that aside. Yeah, we put the religious part aside.
Oh.
Because it's not humane.
Well, what about like theft or something?
Yeah, we go based off of experiment, and we know that from time and from what we've experienced that like people taking stuff from other people doesn't have good effect or good impression or good influence on them, and because of that we know that it's not good. And so we reason, and we also have like we put like feelings also into reasons, knowing that when we take something that doesn't belong to someone else, it's not going to have good impact on them. And because of that, we've learned that we shouldn't do that.
We didn't have to learn that. God
But
already told us from the beginning. It saved us time.
forget the whole trial and error. Just do what God says, and we'll be all right.
Oh,
I think we can say that we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I think you're at that point. Go round and round with this all night, ladies.
that's
So
right.
do we want to wrap up? Have we already wrapped up?
So we haven't wrapped up. Okay, let's wrap
We
up.
have to do
Let's do
some
that.
closing remarks.
Okay, so we need closing statements first.
Okay.
Closing statements. Okay, I don't mind going first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ava, if you don't mind. Okay. So basically, our closing statement is that we have no problem society with others who believe differently from what we believe. We believe that as humans and as well, from what we believe is, we God's children, that we need to be Christ-like and understanding and loving to all people, regardless of their views. So just because you guys believe in something different than us doesn't mean we should treat you any differently. We need to treat you with kindness and respect, and we need to work together to all achieve a goal, basically to live on this earth and prosper. And in closing, I just wanted to quote Mosiah when he said, "All citizens are responsible to share the burdens of governing, that every man might bear his part." And to add to that, for the rights of protection and of all flesh, which is the last part comes from the Constitution. So I think the main reason and the main thing that we should be working on together is to not, I guess, bash religions and bash, humanists. I think what we need to do is to work together, regardless of our views, come together as a people, as a human race, um, and work together to create a better world, regardless of our views.
All right.
Amen.
Exactly. Amen.
All right. Okay, so our closing statement. These are the times for men and women of goodwill to further the building of a peaceful and prosperous world. We urge recognition of the common humanity of all people. We further urge the use of reason and compassion to produce the kind of world we want, a world in which peace, prosperity, freedom, and happiness are widely shared. Let us not abandon that vision in despair or cowardice. We are responsible for what we are or will be. Let us work together for a humane world by means concert let's see, by means with which it ends humanely. Destructive ideological differences among communism, capitalism, socialism, and conservatism, liberalism, and radicalism should be overcome. Let us call an end to terror and hatred. We will survive and prosper only in a world of shared humane values.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah, okay, so
There's
there's a couple of questions. Do you think the authors had high moral ground? Why or why not? Well, I know,
Well, I can say, oh, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I know for our article, at least, I definitely thought they took a high moral ground, but in a way that was like, you know how a lot of times in debates, people they start to lose the main point of what they're fighting for, so they kind of just try to shoot each other down, basically, and put each other down to win the argument when, so they start to kind of fall away from what they're really fighting for. So I liked it in our article where they were fighting, they still never lost the sight of what they were fighting for, but they did it in a way that was respectful for all people, regardless, of whatever their views were. They stood up for what they believed in, but they did it respectfully and mature. That's what I really liked about it. It was very mature. It was nothing like the stuff you see on TV where it's just kind of hateful. Like, we can all have our different opinions and different views, but we don't have to be hateful. That's a choice. So I like that our article was that way. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's my
good.
2 cents.
Um, for us, to some point, I felt like they had like morals, like high points, and to some point, not really. Because when it came to like religion, like me and Hillary were kind of trying to decide if they were for or against religion. So yeah, that was something that um I feel like they oppose some things about, like they oppose some views, and at the same time they were more of like, yeah, we oppose this, but let's just do whatever and see where it takes us to. So that was kind of like what I got from like our point of view and from what we read.
Well,
What?
I think that they opposed God. Like, they're atheists.
Okay.
And so they feel that they have high morals because they want to be humane to everybody, and to make sure that, like, and it says that the individual is the main, like, it's central to their plan. And not only that, but you also have to make sure that the individual, like all of your needs are met, and if you're not able to, like, as a society, those who are poor or those who are broken, or it talks about the injured or the downcast, downtrodden type thing, that society as a whole lift them up, like the welfare system, kind of, and that they should be given at least enough money or enough resources to have a happy life. And so they have, from their point of view, they have high morals because they're taking care of other people. And so, but then again, they don't believe in God. They don't believe morals come from anything other than the realm, the atmosphere. Like, it comes from nature. Like, that's why I know, it's like,
Well, I read it
know,
and I was thinking, okay, yeah, we are going to help everybody and take care of everybody and give all these free handouts, but what they're doing is they don't believe in God, and then if you don't believe in God, that kind of puts it like all churches, they're going to be offended by this, I think, because they believe in God.
Yeah.
And the churches are the people that are the organizations in every community that have the soup kitchens, that have homeless shelters, that have domestic care, domestic abuse places, and so if we get rid of all of that, our society is going to be worse off than what it's right now, because all those
Well, they don't think that they should. I mean, from reading it, it doesn't sound like they said we should get rid of churches. You know, they believe in religious freedom. So if you believe something
Well,
different than
right,
they believe, then go ahead and believe that. But we think you're crazy because we
right.
can't see God. We can't see like the future. We can't see, you know, and all like Eva said earlier, people have prophesied that Christ will come, but he never came. Or those who like, how can you believe an ancient record? You know, like that's the thing that they said. Like the Bible is outdated. Like people are totally
Yeah.
outdated, and it's not like it's not it's
Not
what is the
valid
word?
for
It's
today.
not
When
It's
they,
valued
kind of
for today. Like it doesn't make sense in our day and age, and so like
But
they
it just
don't.
makes me wonder, like,
Yeah, like they're
how is
more like
it not valid for today? Like, it's still being used so much in today's world, so how is it not valid anymore? You know,
because
if
that's
you
how
think
they
that
think,
way,
though.
yeah, and if you think that way, okay, so in what, 500 years is marriage going to be outdated? Kind of how it's going.
That's probably what they'll say.
You know,
yeah,
so it's just
well,
like,
and if
go ahead.
the Bible's outdated, and then that because it's old, then the Constitution's outdated because it's old, and they're
Yeah.
gonna and marriage is old, so
Well,
they're gonna get rid of all this like this basic stuff. I think yeah that they don't believe in God, but I think the support system of the overall Constitution, because we love everybody and everybody has freedom of rights, freedom of religion and speech and press. Once we start kind of tearing away at that fabric, it will get weaker and weaker and weaker. And just like divorce has weakened the society, I think that if we come to have this God does not believe overall everyone, that's a big umbrella, that it will slowly tear away and deteriorate our society as we know it. Not at first, just like divorce has taken decades to kind of catch up and think, oh, that wasn't a really good idea. But I think
yeah.
overall it will weaken the society that we have, and it will.
Yeah, I mean, well, from their point of view, the only thing they're taking out of the Constitution is God. Like, and in their point of view, like, that doesn't make any difference because he doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So, because there is no hereafter, there is no, like, and they think religious is, like, religions are oppressive. Instead of building up the individual, they take away. And so when I thought about that, I thought, yeah, they sure love families. Like, like
Exactly.
That's
as
oppressive.
if that's not oppressive, you know, like
Yeah.
forget about yourself and everything that you really need to do and just focus on other people. Like, sure, like that would be, it's a joke. And
Well,
so,
it's a
Well, and
slippery
even
slope.
if
And, like one thing leads to another and
yeah,
leads to another and leads to another, and pretty soon we're
well,
gonna
it
look
just
around
seems like,
wondering, how did we get here?
oh
yeah,
yeah. Well, and it seems like,
Well,
yeah,
and
okay,
then
yeah, all they're saying,
the Constitution says we the people. That means everybody agrees, and not everybody is an atheist. So
oh
that
yeah.
you know, we the people, right there, everybody. That's everybody says.
Well, I mean, you understand that, like, they take prayer out of schools, and now they're going to take the pledge out of schools. You know, they already have people who disagree with having the pledge in schools, and so those who don't agree or believe in God or feel that it's idol worship because you're placing your hand over your heart for the flag or whatever, they don't have to say the pledge, you know, or if they're a different religion, they don't have to. Like, it's not, but
well,
it's
and
the
I think that's a
freedom.
perfect balance too. Like, don't take it away because you're taking away the rights of those who do believe in it, you know, but just give those others, if you say, you know, for those who don't believe in this, not a problem, go ahead and sit out, take a breather, while those who believe in it are going to participate. You know, like, you have to find, living in the world where so many people believe different things, and we're trying to be, live together in harmony, whatever. We have to give and take. Like, you have to, okay, like, this is what they
Right.
believe, let them have their minute, we'll step out for a second, and then we'll come back together and do the things that we have to do, as a society, like education and everything else. So it's like, I don't know. I think when you guys were talking and stuff, I think a lot of the things, we believe in the same things too. It's like we believe in, all being peaceful and living together and helping each other out as much as we can and lifting each other up, trying to make, society a better and happier place, trying to give everyone their happiness and freedom. Oh yeah, we totally believe in the same thing. It's just that we look to God and they look to just humans as humans. So it's like, okay, like, that's fine, but let's, get rid of that. Just ignore those facts and let's work together on the things that we do agree on. Because
Right.
even just doing those alone, will better society instead of tearing it down by saying, oh, we want to get rid of this, we want to get rid of that, and because then the one side who doesn't want to get rid of it is going to fight. The one side who wants to get rid of it is going to. So then it creates contention, and we're both uh, doing the opposite of what we're fighting for.
Yeah.
Of what we're striving for, I guess.
Well, in reading that, I was getting offended by reading that. I'm like, I can't believe they. I mean, that's like, yeah, I was offended when reading that. I was like, I can't believe this. But they are entitled to their own opinion, and that's why I think that they're losing me on that. I feel like I'm offended that they're looking down on me because I believe in something that they cannot see, and that to me is wrong. Like they shouldn't judge me because of my beliefs or my opinions.
Well, it's just like how many
on their beliefs and their opinions. And like in the Pledge of Allegiance, I think, I mean, yes, we put our hands in our hearts, but I think we put our hands in our hearts for freedom. And freedom, and how many people have died and spilled their own blood to protect my freedom today? I mean, that's what it is. I mean, what it comes right down to is, what does it say? Is I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It's to our country. We're being patriotic. For which it stands, one nation under God. And yes, it's under God, but our money also says, in God we trust, too. Are you going to take that away, too?
They're trying, actually.
Yeah, they are.
They've been trying that for years.
Yeah. And so what our founding fathers were just going to go away from all that and make our own new society, and hopefully trial and error we'll figure it out and it'll all work out. Let's cross our fingers, everybody.
Can you imagine?
Well, it just offends me. We'll fight to the death.
So funny. Okay, what's the next question?
We have our religious people, the only people who have values and morals.
Oh, I think that that's an individual question, but I think that that not just religious folks can have values and morals, but it's just that their values and morals differ from those who don't.
Right.
So.
And I've met non-Mormons that have the same values and morals that I have. It's just the way they were raised. It's their parents and what they passed down to them. And that could be different everywhere. I mean, it is different everywhere. But, you can still find the same values and morals in church, but even my same values and morals are not the same as some other members in my own congregation, which I found out recently, which I thought was kind of disturbing, but okay, that's a whole other subject. Anyways,
awesome.
Like abortion. When you think of abortion and you think Mormon, you think we are pro-life, right?
Life.
Yes. I have people in my ward that do not agree with me on that. And I was just, yes, exactly, Hillary. Mouth open. Yes.
I know.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that's one way or the other, but when you think of Mormon, we think of as pro-life and adoption and,
wow.
And that's a whole nother.
Yeah. Well, people who are religious are also going to have different views, even among their own religion. That's like we're all working together, trying to make this life as best as we possibly can. And even if you are the same religion, doesn't always necessarily mean you have the same beliefs. Like in certain areas, they're going to differ here and there. Because we're all human, and that's the gift of having, our agency is we have that blessing to do that. I don't know.
Well, and our personal experiences as well are gonna reflect on how we believe and how we see different things too. So I understand that. Can morality exist without religion? Why or why not?
I suppose some people's minds it does.
Yeah, but my huge question I've always come back to is like, okay, well, if I say we didn't believe in God, we didn't believe in the afterlife, we didn't believe in heaven and hell, like when you die, you just died, then what would be the point of having any morals? What would be the point of trying to do good, not stealing, not killing people for whatever? Like, what is the point? If you're not going to be punished, if there's not an end goal, then what is the point of having those morals?
Because you want to be human. You want to be humane.
But that's my point,
Humanism. Well, some people
that's
don't
my
see
point,
the point
though.
in that.
No, but my point is like, okay, if you want to be human, well, part of being human is doing those things, like having that freedom to do whatever you want. Well, this person did this to me, so I'm just gonna go kill him.
Well, how
Well,
about humane instead of human? Humane.
but that's my point, though. Who's to say what is humane and who isn't if there
It's
is
true
not
because some people believe that
someone to
beheading
tell you what
people
it is?
for their religious beliefs is humane. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
don't believe the same thing I do? I'll chop your head off. Like, really? That's
Yeah,
humane? Well, it is in
that's
my
my
eyes
point.
because
So it's like,
you're praying to a pagan god. You know, like, I'm saving you from yourself by killing you. Oh my gosh. It's a good
Until
I
question.
don't
it's
know. I just think that
like,
there has to be all.
well, even in our history, like poor Marie Antoinette, man. I mean, you know, she got beheaded because that's what, and now we just put people in jail. Or like, what? Remember that story? Like, I don't know how many years ago that a United States citizen went over, and I don't know if he stole a car and he had to get flogged. You know, like beat on the back, like whipped on the back
Oh,
so many
yeah.
times. Remember that? And
Yeah.
they actually it went through, and
You're
he
like,
was.
no.
I don't know, is it flogging? I don't know what the
Yeah.
correct
Yeah.
That's
term
Flogging.
is.
the right term, but I
Yeah,
do
that's
not
right.
remember that story.
I didn't
Yeah,
either, but
I
it was
wonder
great.
whatever happened to him. But if you were in a different country, you have to abide by those laws. Like even the Proclamation of the Family, you know, you have to abide. You know, citizens that abide law. What is it? How does that go again?
Law-abiding citizens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
law-abiding citizens and whatever.
Oh, look, you have it on your wall. Good
I have it
girl.
on my wall. I do.
Wow.
It doesn't
Good for
bother me until I
you.
Yeah,
read it.
Hillary, where's yours?
Shoot, yeah. Where's mine?
She's like looking around.
I'm like, I don't have one.
Mine's
Nope.
in mine's in a file cabinet, but
I forget. I
it
can't
was
find
at
it now.
one point. We moved. Oh God,
Oh
you
man,
guys.
that is so
We're
funny.
funny.
So are we
Well,
good? Did we finish our conversation?
Yeah, that was it.
yes.
Okay, we call upon responsible citizens and offers the government ever to promote those measures designed to maintain and strengthen the family. But not everybody has the same views as we do. So, and we're supposed to be law-abiding citizens. Where does that say that? I can't find that.
It is in there somewhere
It
It's
about
is.
in
I think it's towards the end.
that with whatever country you're living in, you need to abide by the laws of that country.
Yeah. I can't find it now. Anyways.
When I first read the Humanist Manifesto, I was just confused. Like the first one, because they have two of them. They have like number 1 versus number 2, and I read the first one. I was like, this is written in 1933, and I thought I do not get this. And then when I read the 1973, because they updated it, it was more in like layman's terms. So I was like, yeah, I got it. Like that makes more sense now. But it was kind of like, are you kidding me? That's how I felt. Like, are you kidding me? They really believe those things? But
That's funny. Well, before we turn the recording off, I think we should tell Sister Meeker how cool we thought it was that she said hi to Eva in the temple.
oh, totally.
That's awesome.
So cool.
She recognized you and she remembered your name. That was so cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
we were pretty impressed.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Aha,
we
here
thought,
it is.
I
I
thought
found
she
it.
would enjoy that. Okay, go ahead.
Now, parents have a sacred duty to rear their children in love and righteousness, to provide for their physical and spiritual needs, to teach them to love and to serve one another, to observe the commandments of God, and to be law-abiding citizens wherever they live. So it's in the middle. So it's under the husband and wife. But yes, be law-abiding citizens wherever they live. So I guess if you do the crime, you have to do the time.
Which is
But I
also
wonder
applies
whatever
to
happened to that
abortion.
guy. What?
Which also applies to abortion. Don't do the crime if you don't want to do the time, you know?
I know.
Except
Lily,
where it's legal.
yeah.
Except for where it's legal and there's no punishment to that. Too bad. Like,
Okay, so not everywhere it's legal and not everywhere they can get help. So there's illegal abortions where 10 million women die every year because of illegal abortions.
You know,
Because
it is in like 3 countries. There are like I think 3 or 5 countries in the whole world that have illegal, like you can't do abortions there.
right, and then there's other places where they can't get the medical whatever they need. They can't get the medical help, so they try to do it
Do it
themselves.
themselves. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
Yeah, you
So,
don't want to go there.
Just have the baby. Just have the baby.
I know.
yeah.
And just be a good mom, okay?
It's so sad.
Well, adoption. What about adoption?
Okay, that's a whole different subject. We should, if we're gonna continue, just end the recording.
Okay, we're gonna stop broadcasting. We'll